Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's going to be a little different type of a video than I normally do. Hopefully you can tell by the thumbnail and the title, and hopefully you really enjoy it. But I just wanted to share with you a couple of things, tips and tricks to get farmhouse style from Dollar Tree products, and to how to change it and personalize it to make it your own. So here we go. So this is the first one we're going to start off. I found this in a catalog or website called Lake Cottage. It's Collections ETC, if you've ever heard of that, or Oriental Trading, one of them. But it's their little housewares division. And there was this little galvanized bucket with rope handles, and they wanted $8 for it. $8 isn't a lot of money when you spend on farmhouse decor, but if you can make it for $1.50 or $1.20, you might as well. And you can always monogram it, like this one comes in plain or with a monogram on it, if you so choose. That's where the personalization comes in. This series, I would like to just say that we're going to show different ways to turn Dollar Tree items into that farmhouse look, ways you can personalize things that you can buy there, as well as things that you can find at yard sales, thrift stores, and all that stuff, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some of this nautical rope, and we're going to take these flower garden buckets. Now these ones are from the last season, not 2018, but 2017. They are not colored, and they are not they are galvanized, because people think that that antique-y look is galvanized, but technically this is. Do you see this pitted look? That means it's galvanized. If you want an antique-y look galvanized, there's different methods to do that. However, I don't want that. I just want this kind. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to put a rope handle on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a scrap piece of paper. I'm going to bend it over where I want it to go, and then I'm going to mark. The reason I'm bending it over is so that I didn't realize you couldn't see that. I apologize. So the reason I'm bending it over is so I can mark on the other side so they're equal. And then what I've done is I've taken where I want it to be, and I folded it in half, and I marked that mark on both sides. So here, that's what I'm saying. So make sure that that mark is even on both sides. I feel like it's not. It's a little over, so I'll make the long one a little longer. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to put that back in our bucket. I'm going to use the center of the paper to go down the center seam. And I'm going to mark each spot where I'm going to tap the hole. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to repeat the process. Okay. See? Okay. Now, okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to take a block of wood. You guys could do what you want. Protective eyewear, definitely a must. I'm going to take this little screwdriver, and I'm going to hammer it in to create. We've done this before on our two-tiered country tray. It's very, very similar. This is very easy. This is, I consider it beginner's DIY because you're using very rudimentary skill. And as far as hammering is concerned, everybody hammers at different weights, but the hammer itself is really what does the work. So if you need to if you don't have such a heavy grip and you just need to tap it a lot extra times, you can. If you're strong and you can get in through 2 or 3 taps, you can do that too. Okay. So once I have a hole, and I'll show you, it's perforated on all 4 sides. I'm going to take my screwdriver and I'm going to work it around to make that hole a tiny bit bigger. Now, if you have a big fat screwdriver, you probably won't have to do this as much. Okay? If you have a smaller screwdriver, you might have to do it more. But you want to be careful and mindful not to really over bend. See, here, let me show you what you don't want to do. You don't want to take it and see how I'm puckering that metal. I don't want to do that. I want to just be gentle and make the hole a little bit bigger. Okay, now that that is done, If you need your hole even bigger, some people will have trouble getting this fat rope through that little tiny hole. Then I'll show you another way. But the best way to do it really is with the screwdriver. And if you have a fatter screwdriver, you'll get a fatter hole. If you're very careful, you can do it with your scissor. So, do you see how big that hole I just made? And you can do it on this side as well. It is just be very careful that you don't make a big, like your hole too big, or else your knot won't stay on the other side. And I'm spinning it so that it makes like a round hole. And again, you don't want to bend your metal. Okay. So now you should be able to get your rope through. But now I wanted to show you something. There is sharpness. You have to be careful. You have to be very mindful of the sharpness. If the sharpness is objectionable to you, you can take your hammer and flatten it out, just even against your finger, or you could put something in it and flatten it out that way, but I think that that's enough. And you want to cut 2 sections of rope, and you want to measure the first one. I'm going to measure it backwards. So I'm going to put it in. I'm going to put it in from the inside of this hole, and I'm going to weave it through. Now, one of the tips is if you turn it in the direction that it's basically threaded. Okay, so this hole needs to be a little bigger. And that's okay, we can do that, right? Remember how to do that? I'm just turning, I'm not pushing, okay? Just be mindful of that. Turning, not pushing. You know what I've done again? I've taken my glasses off. I don't know why I keep doing that. Okay. Just needs to be a tiny bit bigger. I have a little bit of a burr on the inside, which is weird. I'm not supposed to have any burrs on the inside. I don't even know how that happened. I'll be honest with you. It really shouldn't have happened. I mean, I see how it happened now, but it shouldn't have happened that way. Okay. Again, burr on the outside. Flatten it out. Okay. So I'm gonna measure. Okay. Now I want a knot on the inside. So I'm going to do that before I cut anything. Okay? And you want that to be a tight knot. And how long do you want your handle to be? All of this is important factors. So if I want my handle to be just about like that, I'm going to make a knot there. You can always cut the excess off. There we go. I'm going to cut the excess off. Now you can tape it to keep the knot from fraying, but that's really not important. Depends on, of course, what you want to do with your bucket. Let's do the other side. And the other side also has this. Why does both the holes on this side want to be like too small? Is that just gave up? Is that what happened? Okay, let's tap that flat. Okay. Let's repeat the process on this side. You want to come through the inside. Oop. If you need to turn it, don't forget to turn it with its thread. See, if I turn it like this, it'll come through in its direction. It'll come through a little bit better. Oop. So if the hole is too small, you take a piece of tape and you tie it really tight around here. You make it really tight. And then what you can do is use that to help you facilitate, like a needle almost. Okay? You can always just make the hole a little bit bigger. If that's, you know, if that's what you need to do. Okay, make a knot. You can always pull it back out. So you're going to make your knot. Pull it back out. Decide how long you want your handle. It needs to be a little shorter so it can match. But again, not something that wouldn't change over time or keep that from unraveling. Sorry, let's see. I can get 2 fingers. I can get these 2 fingers spread out that much. It needs to come in a tiny bit. So that's where I need to tie my knot. And again, this isn't like an exact science. Okay. Does that look good before I cut it? Looks pretty even to me. Now, these burrs and stuff we talked about, you can hammer them down. You can also take your pliers and you can plier them down so they're not objectionable looking. But otherwise, just trim your rope. And there we've just changed it for less than 20 cents or something. So, of course, that was super simple. So I hope you really can get the feel of what we're going to be doing here this week. We're just going to be doing simple changes to Dollar Tree products to make them more on the farmhouse style. There are lots of tutorials on how to age galvanized buckets if you like that aged galvanized look. Basically, vinegar, lemon juice, and salt, any of those things will cause that more aged, milky looking product. Okay? You can also do it with paint if you want to, but I just really enjoyed the texture on this bucket already. Now this bucket this year had come out where the letters were painted. If you find that one and you want to go with that, you can, absolutely, 100%. I have just decorated this with flowers and mason jars. I was going to put it in my bathroom to hold cotton balls and Q-tips. But you guys can do whatever you want with it. This would look great in the kitchen, hold kitchen towels, hold spices, whatever you want to do with yours. I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you really enjoy this series. If you do, please let me know, give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to share with friends and family, anybody you know might be interested in watching how to make this or learning anything from the series. And if you haven't yet, click subscribe, and when you do, a little bell will pop up. When you ring that bell, YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And as always, you take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's going to be a little bit of a different type of DIY video. I don't know if you could tell from the title or the channel. I mean the title or the channel. Sure. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's going to do... Is this like the worst hair ever?